Hi, it's Troy with another flanneurial video wandering around the streets of Soho in London, and it's pretty chilly, so I've got the old collar up and I thought I'd walk around to do these videos because otherwise I'm going to get cold. So let's get into it. So today I want to talk about the importance of being bold, being courageous in your choices and in your actions. Now, this isn't particularly a new topic for me, but I just think it's really important. I think it needs to be emphasized as much as possible. Recently, I've been reading Carl Jung, as I've shared with people who are on my email list. Do join my email list, link below. I've read Jung when I was younger, when I was at university, but I wanted to sort of catch up on it a little bit, to get into him again, because he's very important in terms of obviously thought, in terms of thought of psychology in the 20th and 21st century, and also he is referred to by a lot of our sort of purple pill friends, people who are into Jordan Peterson and all that kind of thing. And so I wanted to update myself and to, just look at his writing through that lens, I suppose. And actually, I have to say, I've kind of enjoyed it. I think he's got some really, really good things to say. My problem with the sort of so-called purple pill guys who want to make Jung the basis of sort of, I don't know, self-help type work. They'll say, oh, you need to understand your shadow and all that kind of thing. Well, yeah, okay, fine. You do. But what does that really mean? How does that in practical terms, how do we use Jung to, to help a guy's life, to help a guy get better with dating? How does Jung really help with that in a practical sense? And that, to me, is the question that hasn't been adequately answered by anybody that I've seen anyway. So, but anyway, that's not to say that Jung is not of interest. And one of the things that I really, really enjoyed reading was his writing on the process of individuation, which is basically, another word for it would be self-actualization. And this is basically becoming oneself. And what he says, and of course I'm going to massively paraphrase now, because I don't have the text before me, but what he basically sort of says is that one needs to understand one's direction, the direction that comes to one from one's deepest subconscious, and then one needs to move in that direction in order to undergo this process of individuation, in order to become oneself. And, it's very important that we do this. Why? Because if we don't, then we're not really being ourselves. We're not really acting in the way that we, that our core would demand that we act. And so we are never really fully satisfied. We're never fully happy. Is happy the right word? I don't think happy is really, an end state that, it's not like a plateau or a precipice that we can just reach and that's it, we're happy. But, we're never going to be fulfilled if we don't undergo this process of individuation. And as well, as I suppose the word suggests, this is about becoming an individual. This is about not going along with the dictates of society, not just being another member of the herd. It means being discovering our individuality and going with that. And this is incredibly important. It's incredibly important because, as Jung says, we won't be fulfilled if we don't do it. But it's also important in terms of dating, because the more that you've achieved individuation, the more that you are yourself, the more impressive a character you will cut and the more people you will draw to you. And for that reason, it's also important in business, and it's important in just networking and just life generally. But the issue that we have is, how do you do it? And the other issue that we have, which is perhaps even more pressing, is, do we have the courage to do it? And what Jung says is that actually most people don't do it. Most people, the majority of people, don't have the balls to do it, basically. He didn't use that language, by the way, of course. He couched it in somewhat more cerebral tones, but you understand what I mean. Most people don't have the courage to do it, and so most people remain unindividuated. They don't become individuated. They don't self-actualize. You know, they meld into society. They go along with what everybody else does. They live the same kind of lives as everybody else. And he describes this as being sort of, they're on a sort of lower level of consciousness, I suppose. You know, they're not fully conscious in the same way that the individuated person is, and so they're kind of probably quite happy to just go along with the herd, just do what everyone else does, live that kind of life. Fine, but they never really fully expressed themselves. They never really fully got to the bottom of what marks them out, of what makes them different as a human being. This is what we need to do. But it takes courage, it takes bravery. And so what I really wanted to say in the video today is you have to be bold in your actions, you have to be brave, you have to be courageous, and you have to be willing to go out on a limb sometimes, because it's only by doing that that you are going to be able to enter this process of individuation. And if you fail to do it, then you are choosing not to individuate, you are choosing to just remain part of the herd, remain one of the crowd, remain just another person who's lived just another normal life. So can I think of an example of this? Well, yes, you know, what if an amazing opportunity, say you've lived in a small town for all of your life, and then this amazing opportunity for your career comes up, and in order to take it up, you would have to move to a big city somewhere a long way away. Now that might be very much out of your comfort zone. You know, all of your family might live in the small town. You might not want to do it for a variety of reasons, but if you don't do it, you're in your comfort zone, that's fine, but you haven't fully embraced your individuality. You haven't fully entered into this process of individuation, and then you're at a detriment, you know. So that's a small example. There are many other examples, as many as there are people in the world. Lots of different circumstances that you know, that sort of match up to what I'm talking about here. You'll probably recognize them in your own life, and what I would encourage you to do is just to be bold and take the chances that you know that you have to take, because look, life is short. None of us are here for very long. Maybe not me, because I'm going to get run over. Yeah, you know, take the chances. You've got to be bold, you've got to be brave, you've got to be courageous in order to individuate, in order to self-actualize and to become the warrior, the hero that you know you can be. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, but do hit subscribe, do give me a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Do get on my daily email list, emails Monday to Friday, link below, and do get Renegade Dating Blueprints, which is my pack of 10 books, available for just $39, folks. It's worth $250 actually, in terms of the full value of all that wonderful information about dating, sex, the sexual marketplace, all of that good stuff. The link's below, click that link while it's still at that amazing price, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.